Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. You can see I'm in a different location because we have a different type of video. This is my playoff predictions, and as you can see behind me here, I have the playoff picture. We're going to focus in on this camera right here, which shows the Western Conference, because it's hard to see from this camera if I show you what I'm putting down. And yeah, we're going to fill it out, see what my predictions are, and then we're going to react to it at the end of the playoffs and see what I had right and what I had wrong. So let me grab my markers and let's get right into it. So this is up close and personal, but as you can see right here, the Western Conference. First game is the Jazz versus the Warriors. You know, I don't know what I think about this. The Jazz versus the Warriors are kind of a tough matchup. You have Donovan Mitchell against Steph Curry. I don't know what Donovan's health is going to be going into this playoff series, but I am going to pick the Jazz. I think the Warriors are just going to miss Clay throughout the year, and I'm picking the Jazz. But yeah, next matchup we got the Nuggets versus the Mavericks. This is another tough series. We got Luka Doncic versus Nikola Jokic. I always mix Nikola Vucevic and Nikola Jokic up, but that's going to be a tough matchup, especially without Jamal Murray. If Jamal Murray was there, I do expect this series to go to the Nuggets, but we're going to have our first upset. I'm going to say the Mavericks. Luka Doncic is going to pull out the game in 6 games. I'm going to say 6 games, the Mavericks win. Next, we have the Suns versus the Lakers. As you can see right here, this next one down. Another tough matchup, 2 versus 7. The Lakers might move up in the standings, but these are the standings as of today, whenever I'm going to put out this video. And the Suns have had a great year. Devin Booker, All-Star. Chris Paul, All-Star. Chris Paul is probably top 10 in MVP voting, whether you like it or not. But the Lakers are going to upset them. LeBron James is the GOAT playoff performer, and he is going to will the Lakers to a victory. As you can see, my handwriting is amazing. Just immaculate. Next, we have the Clippers versus Trailblazers. Do the Clippers, get past the first round? Who knows? Who knows? Playoff P, Pandemic P. What P is going to show up? It's going to be Playoff P. I'm going to say the Clippers beat the Trailblazers, sending the Trailblazers into a rebuild, trading away C.J. McCollum to pay Norman Powell. And yeah, that's my prediction. So that's the first round of the West. And now we're going to get into the second round. So we got the Jazz versus the Mavs. Guys, I'm going to say the Jazz are for real this year to be conference finalists. I think they have a stacked roster. 3-point shooting is a big deal in the NBA today, and they got a lot of good 3-point shooters. And I think the Mavericks aren't the toughest opponent for them. I think the Mavericks are a couple years away. Luka's a couple years from really making an impact in this playoff run. So, next one, Lakers versus Clippers. This is the matchup we wanted last year, but we didn't get it, right? The Clippers lost to the Nuggets last year, choking 3-1. You know what I'm going to say? Clippers win. Clippers justify themselves for the last year's performances, and they beat the Lakers. LeBron only played half the season. Anthony Davis only played half the season. And yeah, I have the Clippers and the Jazz in the conference finals. But who is going to be in the finals out of the West? Who knows? Who knows? Who really knows if even this is correct? But the Jazz versus the Clippers. The Clippers are my finalists out of the West. I'm going to have them as my finalists. And let me readjust my other camera to focus in on the Eastern Conference. So, we are focusing in on the Eastern Conference, which my Hornets are a part of. And that's going to be the first matchup here, is the 76ers versus the Hornets. I just dropped my marker. The Hornets stand no chance against Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, and the 76ers pull it out. As much as I would like my Hornets to win, I don't think it's possible. But yeah, next series we got is the Knicks versus the Hawks. As you can see, my it kind of smeared right here. That's supposed to be Hawks, but forgive me. So Knicks versus Hawks. Going to be a tough matchup if this stays how it is. But I'm pulling for the Knicks. The Knicks are finally back in the playoffs, and they're going to go to the second round. But before I even get to these final two, I'm going to say the 76ers are easy finalists for the conference finals. I think the Knicks are no match for Joel Embiid. Who's going to guard Joel Embiid? Nerlens Noel? Probably not. Mitchell Robinson's been knocked up this year, so I don't think he's guarding him either. And then we get to the bottom half of the bracket with the Nets and Celtics. Nets have too much firepower. James Harden is almost back. Nets easily pull out of the first-round matchup. A tough first-round matchup against the Celtics, but I think they pull out. And then we got the Bucks versus the Heat. Bucks get their revenge. My second favorite team, the NBA, get their revenge, and they beat the Miami Heat in how many games? Bucks in 6, baby. Bucks in 6. Then we go to the Nets versus the Bucks. It's the Bucks here. The Nets have only played 7 games with their top 3 stars. I'm going to say the Bucks win versus the Nets. That is going to be my prediction. 76ers versus Bucks. Second favorite team in the NBA. You know it's going to be the Bucks that win against the 76ers. The 76ers are going to go into a frantic mode and either trade away Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid this offseason because they can't realize they can't even make it to the finals with those two. And the Bucks are making it to the finals in Giannis' first time in his career. And who is going to be the winner? I want you guys to comment down below if these two teams, the Clippers and the Bucks, made it to the finals, who would win? You know what I'm going to say? The Clippers who've never made it. Oh my god, I just mixed up my camera. The Clippers who have never made it to the conference finals even, never made it to the finals, are going to win the championship this year in 7 games. I have the Clippers, baby, winning the finals. I am not even the biggest Clippers fan, but I'm going to say it's their year. As this thing plays out, I think they have an easy one against the Jazz. They win in 5. Hot take, hot opinion. And I think, the Bucks might be shocked by Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and that's my playoff bracket.